I find lanyards extremely useful. Over the years, I've tried a whole bunch of different types, and after knotting away miles of rope, I started to have a strong opinion of what makes the best ones. In this video, I'm going to show you my favorite two techniques, how I apply beads to my knives, pry bars and multi-tools. And I will also explain what makes a good lanyard and show you how it adds serious, sometimes even life-saving functionality to your equipment. Hey everyone, welcome to Salvo EDC. I hope you enjoy my videos, and if you do, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you wanna see my coolest knife pictures or meme content, then also check out my Instagram and TikTok pages. So, I just put fresh lanyards on most of my knives, and I realized that I mostly lean toward two versions. Both of them are equally important, but for a very different reason. The first one is a straightforward combination of a couple of snake knots with small beads, and it mostly serves a utilitarian purpose. Since I've got large hands, running a lanyard on my small subcompact EDC pocket knives is an absolute must. Since without them, I could simply not have a good enough grip, and I would have been restricted to using them with only 3 or even just 2 of my fingers. With this kind of a lanyard, however, I can enjoy a full grip. The main features of this utilitarian grippy lanyard is its chubbiness and rigidity. In my opinion, such a lanyard works best if it's not dangling around all the time and also has some kind of a thickness, so it can truly act like an extension to the knife handle. This lanyard might also come in handy on larger knives if they come with a so-called deep carry clip, just like this Dagger Sparrow that has this pretty stylish screaming skull clip. In this case, the lanyard makes it easier to remove the knife from my pocket, especially if I wear gloves or my fingers are numb from the cold. But a lanyard like this will also help me retain my knife in a situation where otherwise I would drop it. This is the biggest reason why a lanyard like this is widely used by my friends in the army, as they can't afford to lose their knives in an emergency. To demonstrate the application of this first paracord technique, I will use one of my favorite small EDC folders, the CVV Baby Bender. Just like its name suggests, it's a rather small knife. However, after adding the right lanyard, it will feel a lot bigger, and it will also pack a bigger punch. Since this model comes with a dark green canvas micarta handle, I chose a vivid royal purple paracord because these two colors have a very good synergy. Plus, I'll also slap on a flame anodized titanium ghost bead to make my lanyard complete. To start the whole thing, I measure some paracord, 20 inches should do. I pull it through the lanyard hole, and then I throw on a couple of snake knots. These puppies are very useful when it comes down to pocket knife lanyards, and they also look amazing. On top of that, they are pretty simple to make, so I consider them a basic technique. To properly tie this so-called snake knot, I just have to put a twist on my bottom cord and then grab the top cord and pull through the loop I created. Then come back and pull it across another time. To make sure my pinky finger has enough room to grab the lanyard, I usually repeat this loop 2 to 3 times, depending on the knife. When this first half is done, I apply my ghost. Here I'd like to show you a technique, as my small titanium bead has a rather tiny hole, so my paracord would not fit through just by itself. To get through this bottleneck, I have to strip the cord at the end, remove some of the white inner strings, and then make the remaining colorful layer a bit pointy. If I really need to, sometimes I also shape it further with my scissors to make it a little more pointy. And I might also reach for my pliers or my tactical toothpick as a last resort. Now that my cute little ghost is on, I usually finish this lanyard with a couple more snake knots before I would seal it. But I always pay attention not to make the lanyard too long, because then it would just annoy me. So I usually go with 2 to 3 knots again. Then go ahead and seal the ends. Here I also developed a special technique because the sight of ugly and chunky paracord ends usually irritate me a lot. So I grab my scissors yet again and strip the cord, then trim the inner white strings. After I did this, I cut back the colorful layer at a 45-degree angle, and only then I go for my lighter to melt it. And then I do the same thing on the other side. This way I can easily give a uniform and clean look to my lanyard. And the result also speaks for itself. It's clean, simple, stylish, and extremely useful. The second type of lanyard, however, is very different from the first one. Instead of improving the grip or lengthening the handle, it focuses on extra visibility. Therefore, it's not only useful on knives, but literally on any other gear you are afraid to lose. A big, bulky and colorful lanyard makes it easier to find your gear on the bottom of your bug-out bag, toolbox or any other messy environment. For example, I love Dayglow Paracord colors such as Canary Yellow because it screams at me in the dark, and it also has a great contrast if I drop my camping tool into vegetation. I really like that the second type of lanyard is removable, so it never gets in my way, and this also allows me to use a lot more complex paracord techniques on it, such as this highly decorative diamond knot, also known as stopper knot. To showcase how this second survival lanyard is done, I will use my Leatherman Signal Multitool, which is literally an all-in-one survival kit that fits my pocket. Therefore, I need to make sure not to lose it. Staying alive greatly improves my chances of survival after all. I just wanted to point that out. So I make sure to leave a good amount of length on my cord, so I might take it off by pulling the lanyard across this loop. Then I will place my very first snake knot. This is another reason why I love snake knots so much, because I can place them very accurately wherever I want. Then after 2 to 3 knots, I will slap on this pretty cool titanium bear bead. Normally, this bead would be too bulky for a pocket knife, but for an already ginormous multi-tool, it is pure perfection. Plus, it's titanium, so it almost weighs nothing. After the TI bear is secure, I can start probably the most difficult part of this entire video, the Paracord diamond knot. This is a lot more advanced technique, especially compared to the previously shown snake knot. But if you can pull this off, it is super satisfying. I'll not even try to confuse you with a detailed explanation. Probably you should just follow my motion, and if you mess it up, then pause the video and watch this part over again. After I finish tying this paracord stopper knot, tightening it properly will require patience. So I go one string at a time, and eventually I will end up with a flawless diamond knot just like this one. There's one huge life hack if you cannot place this knot close enough to the bead. You can go back, loosen the snake knots and place them lower, and if you are done, you should get this pretty cool lanyard as a result. If you also like how it looks and how bulky it is, you can also add it to your keychains or even to your zipper pulls. Probably this is why I love Paracord so much, because it is extremely versatile. If you share my opinion or learned something useful, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, because in the future I'll definitely return with similar DIY content. And if you're into neck knives, I invite you to watch my previous video in which I showcase how to cord the entire handle of my favorite skeletonized fixed blade. Thank you for watching my video all the way, and I'll see you in the next one.